Hi, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for joining me. I am trying to get it together here. So I have a friend that lives in New Orleans area, and she called and asked if I had any crawfish boil decor in my shop, and I do not. So I figured, why not? Let's put something together for her. She's got a graduation party coming up and needed some ideas on how to decorate. And so I think a door hanger was what we all needed. So here we are. Let me see if I can find my stuff. Oh my gosh, I accidentally posted the wrong thing. Y'all, I'm losing my mind is what's happening. Let's see if I can delete that. Okay, here we go. All right, we've got it now. We're under control. Okay. All right, here we go. Now, keyword is the word boil. We're gonna start with the door hanger. This is 16-inch, and I'm gonna paint it this color called Wild Wasabi. Hopefully this is open. Yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna just. This is a shiplap hanger, okay? And it's on my Etsy in different sizes, so you can choose the size that's right for you, okay? Oh, hopefully this isn't too green. This is a little more green than what I was imagining, but we're gonna make it work, okay? Oh, I'm a little scared right now. I'm thinking maybe I need to go a little more gray to offset this green. I think I did too much here with this green color. So I do have a solution in mind. Let's see if I can look over here at my little magic shelf and see what other colors I have and mix in a gray to help mute this a little bit. This one's good. This is the Deco Art. Hopefully, I don't think this is even open. Hi, Tracy. How are you? Yeah, it's either people love it or they hate it. I get it, though. And, I mean, they are called mud bugs because people think they're, you know, they are like the bugs of the Louisiana Bayou, but it's fine. Okay, so I just like put a little bit of gray on here, and I'm gonna kind of mix this in to, ooh, this is kind of a bluish gray too, so I think this is gonna work. Y'all don't judge me too hard. I didn't really think about the background color very much. I didn't want to go completely gray, because I guess I could have done brown, but I feel like that's boring. Like a stain would have probably been sufficient. Especially like because the whole inside of the pot is like brownish from all the stuff, but it's fine. We're gonna make this work, okay? All right. Hopefully we have some more Louisiana and Texas people here that love crawfish as much as I do. All right. I think that's good, actually. That muted that a lot. I don't know if y'all can tell how much, but it was doing too much green for sure. I'm gonna just grab a little bit more gray for the edge over here. Not too much, but I definitely need to mix that in. Hi, Rainy, how are you? So tell me, whenever you get on, do you love crawfish? Do you hate crawfish? I need to know. There's many people that are against it, and I get it, but I love crawfish personally, so maybe I'm a little bit biased. And I do it all. I eat the entire thing and suck the head too. Hi, Tess. Hi, Brenda. How are you? Okay, let me clean my hands up. I've got paint all over me. Now, this has multiple pieces, so don't be afraid, okay? We do have this like floral piece and the word hi, and I was thinking I have this green. It's kind of a dark green for the floral, and then I have a darker gray color that I was going to use for the word hi. Okay, I almost just did the word hi in green, and I didn't mean to do that. So I'm glad I didn't go all the way there, because then I would have to make a choice and probably just add a little bit of gray to it to tone it down just like I did just now. So anywho, yeah, I think so too. It's not so, I thought that was going to be more of a gray green, but I was wrong. Sometimes my color instincts don't always do it for me, which you guys know me well enough to know that that's the case for a lot of things. And I made a last minute choice on the colors, so, you know, sometimes I do, whenever I plan a project, I sit in my office or wherever I'm at, and I think about, like, okay, I have all the paint colors, what am I going to do? And I love this Deco Art paint, so I do try to use it. Plus, I got a bunch of colors that are really great colors that I didn't have before. Even a close shade to those. So I do tend to go more towards them. But I do love this green color. It just wasn't the one for this, for the background on this one. Now, I'm just going to go over a few of these little pieces. And Tess, I do have a bow. It's in my office, so I'll bring it with me. And if you want it, we can add it. Okay, I'll bring my glue gun too, because, you know, I travel with a glue gun these days. Y'all, this is ridiculous. All right, this has become a whole thing. The traveling and crafting situation that I'm in all the time now. Yeah, this green is pretty good for the whatchamacallit. Now, this is the color I was going to use for the bucket. I'm going to distress it a little bit though. So I figured I could use it for the high and just like bring it together, help bring it together a little bit more. The dog is out there whining in the other room. I think probably because my daughter left and now, God forbid, or she's just outside like cleaning her car or something where the dog can't be, and it's like a whole thing. I don't know about y'all. Do your dogs just sit at the door and whine whenever you leave? I don't think mine does. I'm pretty sure, but I have heard that Dozer is a little bit more needy whenever I'm out of town. And I say a little bit, but a bit. Okay. Apparently he decided that he was going to tear up one of the doors in the house the other day, which is strange because he doesn't normally do that. So I don't know what his problem was, but that was fun. So these are Deco Art. They are actually in the clearance section on the Deco Art website. I can send you a link after this if you want, so you can go check them out. But they're really cheap and good paint. They're good quality, good coverage, and there's so many colors. I bought a ton of colors, and one of them was actually had exploded in the box, but they wrapped it really well to where each of the paint jars came in a bag, like in a plastic bag that was tied off at the top, so it didn't, I mean, it went everywhere, but it didn't destroy the whole box. Thank goodness. There was paint all over my mailbox, so luckily I had this is, by the way, this is called, what color is this? Gosh. Delicate. Okay, this is another one of them that I got, and I'm gonna use it for the corn and the lemon, but I have an idea. Hopefully it's gonna work out. We'll see. Tess, I am testing this for you. Oops. hopefully this isn't too light, but I didn't really have a great yellow that I could use for corn. So we're going to do this. We'll distress all of it and kind of give it a little bit of a different color at the end, okay? So do not fret. I know this isn't the color of lemon and corn, but we got to do what we got to do, you know? Although the new, the color of the month for this month probably would have been good for this, that Struggle Bus. I didn't realize how orange that was until I had an extra jar here that I picked up earlier today. And just looking at it, I was thinking it was more yellow than that. But it's kind of orangey. I mean, it's school bus color, but still. Hi, Joanne. How are you? Tell me, do you like crawfish or do you not like crawfish? That is the question of the hour tonight, because we're making crawfish. And y'all, crawfish is a big deal here, okay? If you live in Texas, especially like down south, maybe in Dallas it's not such a big deal. I don't know. But in Houston, there's a crawfish daily, okay? They have crawfish specials. The other night, on Friday night, whenever we went bowling, we went out to dinner, and they were out of crawfish until 10 o'clock, which I'm going, y'all are a restaurant, okay? I don't know who's coming here to eat at 10 o'clock, but that is too late for this old lady, okay? But apparently, they had run out already in the night. There's crawfish boils constantly. From now until about, I don't know, mid-May or so, end of May. Okay, and then I'm tempted to not paint these, but I'm going to just not go all the way to the edge because those pieces are going to cover this up, and I don't have to paint them. But I'm going to not go all the way because I want my crawfish I'm going to do them red, obviously. They're like little lobsters. So, yeah, so, I mean, I've never had a lobster boil, or honestly, a shrimp boil, except for, like, at a restaurant, but that sounds fun, too. I'm into it. I love seafood of all kinds. So, I might come back and do a second coat of this yellow. We'll see how it goes, okay? And then, for this, bucket, we're going to use this, what is this? It's called Rock Garden. That's what we used for the high a minute ago. Hopefully this little dauber thing is big enough. It's not a dauber. Makeup sponge. Sometimes I use a makeup sponge and I should have used a brush or a foam brush because too big of an area will tear these up and make them kind of shed a little bit. But here I am still doing it, so obviously it's not that bad, right? Looks like my internet kind of gave out for just a second, so hopefully I'm still with you all. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that you did. See, that's like fancy people stuff. Crawfish boils. It's like the poor man's lobster boil, I think. And I'm probably wrong because crawfish can get expensive, but in Louisiana, at every job site I've ever worked on, we've done a crawfish boil. In fact, at one of my old companies I used to work for, whenever I was an admin, I got to organize different events that we did, like for the project team. We did a crawfish boil like once a year because I love crawfish. I love your crawfish moo. That's great. Okay, I need one more. I didn't pull it out. Okay, so here's the deal. Okay, this is called Romance. Okay, it's very red, which is good. Your crawfish do come out pretty red, but I have this pink color that we're going to use to accent it with at the end. Okay, so that it's not just like blaring red and that's all it is. I'm going to try my best to not just make these a solid color because I feel like I should try in life sometimes. And the inspiration photo for this, the girl did, and she's obviously a better painter than me, so hopefully I can pull this off. We'll see. If not, we'll just go back over it with red and we'll pretend that it never happened, okay? It's a great thing about painting stuff is that you can always repaint it if it turns out terrible. So, if you hate it. Now, there's this little thing right here. You can just ignore it. It's going to go underneath. Now, this round is meant to be a interchangeable. We're not going to make it interchangeable, though. It's going to be what it is. I don't have any other pieces that go with this bucket. But if you're into that and you want interchangeables for it, send me a message and we can talk. I can give you some of the other ideas that there are out there for the files. This girl makes a ton of files, so there's tons of stuff I could cut out to have this be interchangeable, where you just use like a piece of Velcro or a magnet, and then you can remove the pieces and make it seasonal. So, and then the high and the leaf part stays, and then you just switch out the seasonal part that's coming out of the bucket. I don't know what other what other pieces she has for it. I didn't look that hard at it because I found this, and this is the one we decided on. So, anywho, I'm taking it with me next week whenever I go to New Orleans to my friend, and maybe I'll get some orders from this from my other coworkers. That would be nice, right? I would like that personally, but we'll see. All right, we're there almost with this red color. This is really good coverage paint too. I just love it. One coat wonder, I swear, with the darker colors. And sometimes with darker colors you still have to go twice, and that is just a real pain in the booty, you know? All right, so I think I'm good to go. I do want to clean up this guy's eye here because I did mess up. Yay! I'm excited for you. I love it whenever you go to Tennessee. I miss it so much there. Okay, so now for this pink. This is just called Princess Pink. This paint is super cheap from probably Michael's. About over 10 years ago I bought this paint. Okay, a case of it for like, I bought some for Ivy for Christmas one year. So I just put a little bit here and I'm just dabbing on a little. I don't want a lot, okay? And then we're gonna kind of just almost like dry brushing this on here. Now I'm gonna come back here in a second and maybe even add a little bit more red, especially to that first one, because I had a little bit too much on my brush, on my makeup sponge. But definitely tap it off, okay? So that you don't do too much. And then I'm trying to blend it so that it doesn't look, so it doesn't have lines, because the shape of this makeup sponge makes it kind of where it might have lines. So you don't want it to look like that. You want it to look blended. And there we go. That's pretty good. This is good. I'm liking this. That one is a little bit too much of the pink, but here's the plan, okay? Gosh. Red and blue always ends up, oh God, I'm stained. Hi, Kathy. How are you? Tell me, do you like crawfish or no? Is it a big fat no for you, or are you into it? Will you try anything once? Tell me about it, okay? Now, I just got a tiny bit of the red, and I'm just coming back so that I'm not just overpowering it with the pink, because I do like this red. It's pretty good for this. But anyway, so let me tell you about the crawfish boils that I used to do. So I used to organize them all, and one year I was doing one for the project team, and we were working on a BP project, and so those guys are really big on team building. They really like to do fun things that the project team will enjoy, and it just brings everyone together, makes everyone feel like they're getting a reward. They like to spend the money to do that, which is wonderful. I think it's great. Tell me what you think about my crawfish. I think they're good. Anyways, so my boss would basically give me free reign to do the planning and all that stuff. And anyways, I would plan it and all that. So we would hire a company to come out and do the boil itself. I'm tempted to... Anyways, so we did that one of the years, and I thought, you know, I want to do a little something extra, right? So I set up some games. And these are people that are like engineers, designers. I worked at an engineering firm at the time. And grown people, okay? Most of them are, all of them at the time were older than I am, okay? And like up to like my parents' age at the time, okay? And so, and I'm fun. I'm like in my 20s, you know, enjoying my life. No beer or anything at the thing, which was kind of a drag, but it was still fine. Anyways, so we had a hula hoop competition, y'all. And you would not believe how good some engineers are at hula hooping, okay? It was a blast. People loved it, and they were going for minutes, okay? Like, some like over 10 minutes. And basically, like, whoever lasted the longest got the trophy, and they could put it on their desk. I had real trophies made for the different events. That one was the one that I remember the best, but I also wanted to give everybody something. And so I found these little lobsters online, like little stuffed lobsters. So I bought, like, we had so many people on that project. I bought like 150 lobsters, and they were just like a small little, like this big of a lobster, okay? And I printed out these cute little cardstock cards that said, you know, the project name, the year, and I bought some ribbon, and I sat in my living room and I tied those little labels on to every single one of those lobsters, and every person took it back to work, and we went, after the crawfish boil was over, we went home for the night. So people brought it back to the office, and everybody had a lobster at their desk. And I guarantee you there's probably people that work for that company still that still have that lobster in their office, which I just love that. They were so cute. But that hula hoop contest, you guys, was so much fun. Hi Cinnamon, tell me, do you love crawfish? Do you hate it? And what does Dee think about crawfish? Does she like it? Obviously the South is the place to get it. And we are in crawfish season now. And people are buying bags and bags and bags. But anyway, so yeah, we used to have a lot of fun at those crawfish boils. Ivy would come, like after school, my ex would bring her, and she would come, and we would have the absolute best time. It was so much fun. Okay. Now, I want to distress these just a little bit. I have this, the distressing ink, and I don't want to use that walnut one that I normally use all the time for this. I think I'm going to use that on the bucket itself, but I have a different color that I think I want to pull out and use. Oh yeah, I bet you do, Susan. See, there's so many things you're missing out on. Whataburger, crawfish, those people up there, they do have some good things, but I mean, at least y'all can go and do like a lobster boil and stuff like that, which that's unheard of here. That's definitely rich people stuff. Sometimes I wish I was fancy and like did things like go to a lobster boil, but then I'm like, I would stick out like a sore thumb, you know? Okay. My little corns are painted. I think I'm going to distress those too. Yeah, Whataburger. Definitely the best. Yes, I'm glad you guys like crawfish. I knew I loved you for a reason. Both of you girls. Alright. We're almost there now. We're going to distress a little bit and then put this all together. So don't forget, you can comment the word boil, as in crawfish boil, and get the link. You can make this yourself. It's on my Etsy. You can choose what size. The size round I'm going with is a 16-inch round. It does come with a hanger for the back so that you can hang it on your door. It is a shiplap round, which now that the paint's dry, you can see the shiplap. I was a little bit scared a second ago because the shiplap disappears whenever you first paint it, and then once it dries, that shiplap comes back. So, thank goodness for that. Now, let this thing dry. These crawfish are really cute. I did a great job painting them. I'm going to have to pat myself on the back for that because I wasn't sure that I'd be able to pull it off, but here we are, pulling things off that we're scared of. So it's a thing that you can do too. If I can do it, you can. No crawfish and no lobster. Oh no. Well, I'm sorry you don't like it, but it's so good. Alright, I have this. Well, I don't have any clean of these, okay? So we're just going to have to make it work. This one has a little tiny bit of glitter on it, but little glitter never hurt anybody. Let's just wipe it off on this baby wipe that I have randomly sitting here and go to town with this thing. Oh gosh. This is Distress Oxide. This one's called Rusty Hinge. And I'm going to just test it on my lemon that's going to be covered up, okay? See how I like that on there. Now, I don't want it to be too orangey looking, okay, because it's not an orange. But I do just want to tone down that very light yellow and make this feel a little bit more like a lemon. But it's been sitting in that crawfish juice, which is red, you know? Y'all feel me? So just a little bit on your little sponge tool dilly thingy. I may go in with some of that walnut too, just to add a little bit of a brownish hue here. And I just realized that the corn is meant to be like, you ate the cob, I think, already. And it's just the cob left, I think, with a couple of corn kernels left on it. I think so, because there's only a few on there. I also love corn. I don't like eating it off the cob because it gets all over my face and that freaks me out. Plus, I'm always afraid I'm going to break my teeth in the front by eating things that are hard. And so I always cut it off the cob, which I'm sure people think I'm just absolute nut job for that. Plus, I eat things with a fork and knife all the time. My friends make fun of me pretty consistently. Chris knows that I have to eat pizza with a fork and knife. And so he always brings me a fork and knife if he's serving me. Like if he's making me a plate and I'm eating pizza, I'm going to eat it with a fork and a knife, and he knows it. Now I'm going to just test this one over here again. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of this one too. This one is the walnut. Okay, I don't want to go too much with it. I don't really want it to look dirty, but it is a little bit from it's soaked up all those juices, you know? And I think that that other one helped me get the reddish tint, but I don't want it to look like a grapefruit. Okay? This is looking good, I have to say. I'm happy about it. I think my friend Tess is really going to love this. All right. I think we're good there. Now, for the bucket, it's so plain that we're going to do some distressing on it too, for sure. We need it. All the way around the edges. And y'all, it took me way too long to figure out how this bucket goes together. I was feeling pretty dumb about it today after I finally realized how it went together. Initially, I took the picture wrong and I had to, of the cutout, you know, and I had to retake my photo because I was feeling pretty foolish that I didn't know how this bucket went together. Now, for this little part that goes along the top of the bucket, I'm going to really get in there with the distressing stuff, okay? And you know, I realize now that I went across the top of there and I didn't need to do that. I needed to go like right here with this. So I'll just go like that. So Rebecca, how much, what about other seafood? Is it just crawfish and lobster that you hate? Do you like, oh, let me get the handle, just a little on the handle, okay? Do you like shrimp? Do you like fish? Or is it an all seafood thing, which to each his own, you know, some people don't like things and I'm not going to yuck your yum. I do love seafood personally. I'll pretty much eat any seafood anytime. All right, so there's my little bucket, and that piece, the little handle thing, goes this way. I was trying to put it the other way because I don't know what I was thinking, but that's not how it goes. Okay, very good. I love shrimp personally too. All right, so get all these pieces pulled off of here, y'all. These crawfish, I painted this really nicely. I'm loving this, actually. Actually loving it a lot. Just that inside of that eye, I got way too much paint in there, and it's a problem. I do it all the time. Y'all watch me, and you're probably going, oh my gosh, this girl. Quit using so much paint. I know, I'm telling myself the same thing, but I can't stop. Okay, now, also, I go through baby wipes like they're going out of style, so it's fine. All right. I buy them in bulk because of this. Okay, because I'm a messy painter. This is going to be so cute. I'm excited about this test. I cannot wait for you to see it in person. Now, we're going to put this down, and hopefully I'm not going to hate this green background because I'm still questioning it. It's still a little bit green. Like, way too green. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. All right, so here's how this all works together. There's this piece, okay, that's going to come. There's an outline here, so you know where you go with that, okay? We're going to put it all down like we always do, and then we'll glue it after the fact, okay? Because I never trust myself to do the things correctly the first go. So I want to make sure that it's right. And now, see, that's where that little slot goes. And then that all gets covered up just like so. And that little thing goes there. This goes here. We're going to line that up better. Just like that. Okay. And then I was thinking that I kind of want to cover that piece right there. I don't understand that. Maybe I have an extra corn cob and I have an extra lemon. So I'm trying to figure out, hold on, let me see if I can get that in there further. All right. Tempted to color this one a little bit with a little bit more pink so it's not quite so, or it could maybe go over here. I don't know. Let's see. We need room for the high though, so that's a problem. Maybe right there. And then our lemons and one of our corn cobs goes here, right? And then you can place the lemons wherever else you want them. And the other corn cob, okay? Like that. All right, I think we're good to go here. Now, getting all of this glued in the order that it needs to be glued is the question. So let's begin right here at the beginning. And just get this little piece on here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up against my table like that. With I got glue on my finger. See, it happens every time. And then I'm going to just like that. Let that sit there for a minute. Okay, so, and then we'll come back to this little piece. And I'm questioning my life choices right about now because this thing is very thin. So I'm not going to go all the way. So I have a handhold on it, okay? And then we're just going to place that right down. Oh gosh. And we'll let that kind of simmer. But there's our bucket. Now, we need to pick up our crawfish. And we need to glue this piece down first. Okay, so let's get this up. I'm going to just stick. See, I knew I had red on that crawfish's eye that wasn't quite dry. And I'm a nightmare. So here we are. Just adding glue to like the major spots, not to every little piece, but I do want to get some of these out, the pieces that are hanging out, so that I make sure that those ends of the little, whatever they are, their little face feeler thingies, get some glue on them. Now, trying to arrange this is going to be a challenge that I'm here for. So I'm going to go back like that. Now this is the part that can be interchangeable, okay? So you could put this in and just use a couple of Velcro dots, and then that way you can switch it out with something else whenever the season's over. And then you don't store the whole round, you just store this interchangeable piece. But for this one, we're making it not interchangeable, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead and get my bucket glued down. And for that, you would just put glue like around this part to hold the bucket on so that this piece would slide out. And now that makes me wonder how I would do it, because a Velcro dot wouldn't work to make that slide. So, I don't know. I would have to look into how you would actually make it interchangeable, but there is a way. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. Just like that. And then I'll find the spot for my little friend. Maybe he'll be kind of perched on the high like that, so that it has two places to glue to. And then I don't remember exactly how I had this, but I think. I wish there was an extra piece of lemon. Things are better in threes, you know? I don't know how I had it a minute ago because I didn't pay attention to it, so that's good. Alright, there we go. And then that's glued, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on his little tentacles. I don't think I need it. Yeah. I'm going to do more of his body. It's not all going to touch something because it's hanging there. But that way, whatever is touching is going to have glue on it. Okay? There we go. How cute. And then last thing is this little leaf piece. And I'm going to just go up the thing and then go up the center also. There we go. And then, ooh. Set that down just like so. Need to scratch that off of there in a minute. Okay, I think we're good. So there's our round. And then, hi Haley. I hope you love this. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I always do this and I always shouldn't do it, okay? I should have put the hanger on first, but I didn't do that. So here we are, all right? And I wanna make sure that everything is, oh, you know what? The shiplap, oh gosh. Okay, so yeah, I didn't think about the shiplap whenever I was putting the word hi on there. It's kind of cockeyed, but we're gonna flip it around just like this. That's like this top center. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my hanger right there. And then let me grab my scissors and grab me a decent sized piece of string. And then I have this out. So put just a little bit on there of hot glue so that you can get that pushed through there without messing up your thing. No, it's not interchangeable, but if you want this and you want it to be interchangeable, you can reach out to me and I can show you the different options that we have for interchangeable stuff. She didn't want it to be. She wanted just a crawfish one. And so I'm making this for a friend. So for her daughter's graduation party. All right. There we go. All right. Get that put through there. My goodness. All right. There we go. And then I want to make this short. Okay. I never want to have a long one because I want it to avoid beating on the door. So I'm going to pull it really tight and then I'm going to tie the knot. And then that way I can decide how long I really want it to be. It just needs to be long enough for that hook, okay? It doesn't have to be super long. So I find that if it's really short, it doesn't beat on my door every time someone comes through it as badly as it would if it were super long. So you really don't even need that much string. I do like to use a fatter jute. This is a big jute, okay? For this kind of hanger, for any kind of hanger really, or I'll double or triple it up, my jute, to make it super strong, because if not, I just don't trust it to not break. Jute is not very strong unless it's fat, in my opinion. And then get that glued on there. I think I needed more glue probably in those little slots. And then we have a little crawfish door hanger now. Look how cute it is, y'all. Hold on, let me see if I can do multiple things at once. Look how adorable. Isn't it so cute? I hope you love this, Tess. I'm really proud of it. You're lucky I'm not keeping it for myself. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Keyword is boil. If you want to make this yourself, if you want to make it interchangeable, just send me a message and we can talk about it, okay? Love you. Bye.